What is good, Cardano fam, ADA gang? We have lots of exciting updates to unpack today, so hit that subscribe, hit that like. Wealthsimple, Canada's first regulated crypto platform, features Cardano ADA, Ethereum, and Solana. These three only in their ongoing X advertisement, already surpassing 53 million views since spring of this year. Now, this ad launched months ago, but this is key. Why? Because it's already getting tons of passive attention. And Wealthsimple is a staple name in Canada, as first a stockbroker, then expanding to crypto, and they have Cardano as well, which you can purchase. And it's great to see these views just accumulate. And this is still an ongoing ad, so don't mind if I do. Of all the crypto that's available, people are seeing Cardano ADA on a staple brand, so much appreciated. And little efforts like this, I think they add up over time as we approach altcoin season. Melon's talking about Bubblemaps. Bubblemaps coming to Cardano. So they've applied for Catalyst to enable Cardano support. And he says, I believe it'd be essential to onboard them. And I agree. I think Cardano, Bubblemaps is a fantastic synergy, especially with what we see with Zerberus and the foundation, the grassroots concepts with Cardano. Now, Bubblemaps, guys, does a great job to help triangulate stuff, to help demystify a lot of wallets, and to help increase awareness, security, transparency. So a clear vision for better decisions, they say. So they do a fantastic job looking at founders, calling out shady projects. They took a look at a bunch of these influencer projects also. So they have great transparency, and I think that their vision aligns with Cardano perfectly. So I think it would be more than welcome. And I think I've used them in the past in the previous bull run. Now, guys, we're going to talk about Babel fees in a moment in terms of timeline. There's been some new replies from Charles. Let's do a refresher, of course. With Babel fees, you can pay in Bitcoin. You can pay in a variety of cryptocurrencies, right? Cardano and Bitcoin win. Babel fees consume ADA under the hood. Bitcoin transactions equals direct demand for ADA. Basically, it's like tourism for the economy. Now, in the words of the IOG CTO, he said it creates a natural market, right? If I'm a Bitcoin user and I have a Bitcoin wallet and I can just transact in Bitcoin, but the Cardano smart contracts DeFi, architecture is doing its thing, I don't have to worry about dealing with Cardano. I don't have to necessarily make a Cardano wallet. I don't need to transact in Cardano, but the demand and that engine is being powered by Cardano, hidden behind obscurity. Babel fees, Charles says, has been on the roadmap since 2021. They are a necessary component for a multi-chain world because people aren't going to buy and hold ADA every time they need something from Cardano. So this is both realistic, and it puts aside that concern people have of like, well, what about ADA? How will ADA benefit? He's made it clear time and time again that it consumes ADA under the hood. And I really like this statement. Transactions must be like the real world. Every time the consumer buys something, it feels like an extension of their currency. So this makes sense, right? When we travel, when we go abroad, whatever we're doing, we just want that technology to work hidden behind obscurity. And I think Babel fees helps to realize the natural market. Furthermore, he says it's part of the original Cardano roadmap and is connected to interoperability. We're going to implement it. If the community doesn't want to include it in the node, it will live as a dead code floating in the crypto ether. I seriously doubt this will happen, and I agree. There is a collection of overflow items like Genesis, Peras, and infrastructure for partnerships in the original roadmap that IOG will develop regardless of the outcome to complete the original vision. So good stuff. We're going to see what Adam has to say about this post. And just as a refresher, guys, post Doom, Charles says we're going to try to get a Nintendo emulator working on Hydra. You can play any Nintendo, any Super Nintendo, these types of console/games on Hydra. A big community, definitely opening up the floodgates for like speedrun stuff. And there's been a lot of comments, people talking about, wow, Nintendo, when Nintendo sue, this, that. Guys, like, they're not going to host any ROMs. They're not going to be hosting any games. And they've been doing due diligence with Doom. So I'm not concerned in terms of legality or anything like that. We have to be realistic. And Adam expanded on this, saying that I think we're saying the same things ultimately, but from different directions. Particularly, he says, I'm in favor of enabling the tooling for any game dev to easily implement Hydra in their stack. I also saw concerns of like, well, what if people are hosting the emulators here and games this? Again, I'm sure that it's the problem. Look, Nintendo just goes after ROMs and ROM hosting. Emulators are in a gray area of fair use. So I don't see a world where like Cardano SBOs are hosting ROMs and anything like that. It's going to keep things sound. It's going to keep things working with integrity. And this is really about concepts and proof of concepts. And I think there's definitely something there on the table. So we'll wait and see what happens with Charles and this vision that he has to see what they're going to cook up. And I'm sure they're going to go about it the right way in terms of legality to prevent any issue whatsoever, as they did with Doom. Dedium says, with our market strategy, the buyback mechanism that we instituted since our inception has now been raised again. The new buyback price will now trigger at 0.10 ADA. With about 10 million DEDI locked in a buyback mechanism, DEDI is now positioned for a long-term growth strategy. And they responded to that with, why? Why set this? Why set a buyback mechanism if the price may not dip that low? It's a safeguard against large exits and builds confidence for more nodes to join. After all, DEDI is a Cardano token, and Cardano native tokens have historically struggled as a store of value. I like this because they're right. Perception, building confidence, really reinforcing the product market fit, the brand, perceived, right? The perceived security. And also in the case of that, if there's those edge case users of like large exits, so that's smart. I think they're rolling about it the right way, and we saw they went with the staking live recently as well. So if that interests you, feel free to check out. Everything's linked below. Let's jump into a great post by L regarding BitcoinOS. You've heard about the ADA and BTC BitcoinOS partnership, but what does it really mean for you? This partnership could reshape DeFi liquidity and cross-chain functionality, offering unique benefits for both Bitcoin and Cardano holders. For Bitcoin holders, new yield options. Now your BTC can do more than just sit in a wallet. It can enter DeFi on Cardano, opening earning and decentralized trading possibilities. Secure decentralized access. BitcoinOS and Cardano leverage zero-knowledge cryptography to securely bridge BTC, eliminating the need for third-party trust while aligning with Bitcoin's principles. For Cardano holders, so for the Cardano holders in particular, BTC liquidity boost with over 1.3 trillion in BTC liquidity potential. Cardano's DeFi ecosystem gets a major boost, supporting more DeFi products and greater trading volume. Cross-chain growth. This isn't just an increase in liquidity. It connects two powerful networks. Expect BTC-backed assets, yield farms, and more as the community expands. And in the words of Charles, right, Bitcoin guys can start buying NFTs using DEXs, accessing DeFi on Cardano, right? Decentralized finance, something that has not been there, not on that advanced level. So I think both communities will benefit. It's not mutually exclusive. It's going to be beneficial to both Bitcoin and Cardano. So bridging communities together with Bitcoin and Cardano now connected through BitcoinOS, both communities benefit from enhanced liquidity, new DeFi opportunities, and an interconnected blockchain landscape. For Bitcoin holders, it brings fresh utility. For Cardano users, it's a bridge to larger markets. This partnership is building a more versatile, collaborative future, and that's the thing. Some of these edge case user Bitcoin maxis, and I use quotations because a lot of the guys, they say they're Bitcoin maxis, they don't know how to mine Bitcoin, they haven't set up nodes, and they just fanfare Michael Saylor to send it up to the moon through centralized means. So it's bizarre because here I am holding Bitcoin, I have miners. It's just very bizarre because you'd think that they would adopt the grassroots philosophy of Cardano, right? I feel like Satoshi would support Cardano. And so humans are naturally resistant to change and innovation and technology. We saw that with personal computers. We saw that with a variety of technology. But we need to let technology innovate and let consumers decide for themselves, much like with Babel fees. Let consumers decide and remove that friction. And Babel fees remove friction. And this will enhance the utility. So I see it as a very synergetic opportunity for both chains. Big shout out to NDAX. You guys know I always link NDAX in all my videos. I think NDAX is arguably one of the most secure, one of the best exchanges in Canada. So if you're Canadian, you ever want to sign up to a nice centralized exchange to onboard and offboard, I like NDAX. They don't pay me to promote them, but I always link them in the video description below. You get a little bonus. I get a little bonus. And big shout out to them for talking about Cardano tapping into Bitcoin liquidity, one of their biggest stories of the week. So big shout out to them, to NDAX. Now, before we jump into the weekly report from IOG, Animoca Co-Founder says, once you get into Web3, you become more financially literate. We connect with culture emotionally. We learn better for something we feel for. You won't invest your time in something you have no affinity to. Culture, then the Web3 layer, is how we onboard. And I really like his emphasis on storytelling, joy, fun, entertainment. And we see this with Cardano, right? There's some boring stuff, right, in terms of the tech and the bedrock foundation. But I think now we're leaning more into fun, joy, dope products, a lot of the gaming stuff that we see around the corner as well. So I think that this is key. Culture is very important. We have to focus on good products that are user-centric, that generate positive emotions. I definitely agree with this. So weekly development report, we're getting closer and closer. We're way past this, actually, past the 98 million and then some. So we're getting closer to 100 million transactions. But just as a key highlights, Catalyst Fund 13 reviews in progress, reflections on the Cardano Summit in Argentina. So we're looking pretty good right now. The community, the network effect, the haters. We're going to look at some of the haters. Speaking of haters, Fred Krueger, the self-proclaimed Bitcoin Maxi, straight in the bio, saying another dog this month has been Cardano, down 18%. Why anybody would want to own this 11 billion market cap coin nobody uses is beyond me. I said thank you for yet again letting Cardano ADA live rent-free in your head. And before we look at price and Bitcoin dominance, I guess some people are just a little angry, you know what I'm saying?
My lord, everybody's so angry. My lord, everybody's so angry.
I wonder if he thought about angry crypto when he was mentioning that. So I'm going to try and clip more of when Charles says angry, angry? Question mark? Sometimes people are just angry, and I guess people don't know, there needs to be healthy mechanisms for how we deal with price being down, guys. I do calisthenics every day. I like to run every day, pull-ups, push-ups, diamond push-ups, planking, running, sprinting. I don't know what Fred Krueger is doing, and I don't want to make this personal, but it feels like there's just too much yapping on Twitter that are just ad hominem and attack of character, and no one looks at things at a fundamental objective level. Yes, price is down, but we also have to look at things objectively, because there are projects that have been down severely that ran. Solana did come down to $9, $10. So, and exceptions don't make the rule. Sometimes there can be bulls going on in the middle of a bear, and there can be multiple things happening simultaneously. So we're back to 3-4. I think that we will surpass our previous all-time high, minimum Q1, Q2 of next year. Bitcoin dominance still chilling at that 59%, and as we see these two blue lines, Cardano ADA all-time high 1 around 38%, and again around 40%. So like I say time and time again, Bitcoin dominance needs to tumble. That will green light altcoin season as we know it. When exactly? I think it's going to be still minimum Q1, Q2 of next year. Price wise, I'm leaning more to that $7 range, but who knows? It could be lower, it could run higher. Speculation alone is enough to run a project. And like the Animoca co-founder said, culture, emotion. We look at Cardano, and as a UX designer, it strikes on all cylinders. Brand, charismatic leadership from Charles. We have the community, we have the network effect. We are one of the most spoken about and most hated and most polarizing projects in Web3, on X, on YouTube. Everyone's always, it's part of their verbiage. They're always saying ADA, Cardano, somewhere, somehow. So I think it's just a matter of time. And when we see projects like Wealthsimple, which are kind of the blue chip, right? The stockbroker, one of those OGs, they move in kind of that professional vibe. The fact that they like to also include it in one of their ads, getting close to 60 million impressions, at the end of the day, sometimes people like to, especially with the masses, they just like to go to that like basic, classic staple name. And Cardano has established itself. Yes, the price is down, but guys, it's been around since, past 7 years. Tell me of another project that has been in CoinMarketCap in that top 15 range that is still in that top 15 range. There's not many. There are like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, so on, but there are projects that have dissolved into the abyss, like BitConnect that was once top 10, top 15, and many others that exited top 100. So is Cardano down? Yes. Could Cardano benefit from more stablecoin? Yes. Could Cardano benefit from more users and TVL and all those metrics on DeFi Llama and stuff? Yes. But that will come because we have built a great bedrock foundation. And I think with BitcoinOS especially, it's going to help to galvanize the narrative of safe and secure, resilient, hack-free, and guess what? Bootstrapped to Bitcoin. That's Super Saiyan Fusion. So I'm very excited for the future of Cardano, guys. Let me know, what do you guys think? And what do you guys think about these low-key gems with like Wealthsimple just advertising and getting 53 million views to ADA? Hit that subscribe, hit that like. I'll see you in the next Angry Crypto show.